Out of the day for you. Today is Thursday, so that means we're working on contact strength. So that means that we're working on our finger strength, wrist stability, as well as toe and ankle strength and stability. Pretty much strengthening, stabilizing anything we use as a point of contact to manipulate and move around on the climbing wall. So we're going to need a little bit of equipment today. You'll need a fingerboard or a hangboard. We have all that at the gym, of course. You will need a kettlebell, a power band. So whereas the TheraBands are just one strand of rubber, the power band is a big giant rubber band, basically. It's like a ring. So you'll need that, and you will also need a steel mace. We're going to do these 3 exercises in a circuit format. So you'll need a timer to time your rests between your circuits. Your phone will probably work for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the exercises. So the first thing we're going to work on is 2 finger hangs. So you might want a chalk bag for this, just in case your hands get a little sweaty. You're going to need a fingerboard. I'm going to use this one behind me right here. Sorry if the camera's wobbling a little bit. I got it on the pad. But I would recommend you using a different fingerboard. I'll show you. I would recommend using this fingerboard, but I'm going to use this one just for the purposes of the video. It's a lot easier for me to get the camera at a good angle at this board so you guys can see what all's going on. So we have some slots that you can fit all 4 fingers in. You have some pockets. So we're going to use a combination of those 2 shapes on this board. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little chalk on my hands. Gives me a little extra grip, prevents my hands from getting sweaty so I don't slide off of the hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on one entire hand and then 2 fingers on another hand. We're going to rotate through different pairs of fingers. So as far as pairs of fingers go, you have A team, which is your index finger and your middle finger. You have B team, which is your middle finger and your ring finger. And then you have C team, which is your ring finger and your pinky finger. So we're going to cycle through each one of those for each hand. So you'll need a timer for this because we're going to hang for 10 seconds on each team. So you'll get a 10-second timer going. A little trick I like to do is I'll actually put my timer on for 12 or 13 seconds so I can start the timer, and then that gives me 2 or 3 seconds to actually get on the hangboard so I know I'm doing the full 10 seconds. So as far as the hanging goes, what you're going to do is you're going to have your whole hand on one slot over here, or even a jug if you wanted to, depending on how strong you might be and how much of a workout you want. And then you'll start with A team. You'll hang here for 10 seconds. You'll switch to B team, hang here for 10 seconds, and you'll switch to C team. And you'll hang here for 10 more seconds. C team is pretty weak, so on C team even, I sometimes will go and grab a jug or a better slot if I need to. Obviously, you'll go ahead and do that on the other side as well. I wouldn't rest between hands. I would just go ABC on the right hand, ABC on the left hand, or left and then right. You know, that doesn't really matter which hand you start on, of course. As far as safety goes with this exercise, this is a little bit riskier since we're using a fingerboard. We're putting our body weight on some pretty small joints. So if you need to, you could use a kickboard to keep like 1 foot on the ground, take a little bit of the weight off. You could, like I said, use a jug on the other hand. There are better holds that are easier to use in this board. That's why I recommend using the other one on the rig over there. Also, generally good hanging practice. This is not necessarily just for work on a fingerboard, but as well as anytime you're doing a pull-up or doing any sort of hanging on your body weight, you want to remember to keep your shoulders down and back, chest up, so that you're hanging on your muscles and you're not hanging on your bones. That is to keep the load, like I said, on your muscles and not on the connective tissue in your rotator cuff. That is because muscles are designed to bear a load and activate in that way. The connective tissue is meant mostly to keep bones in place rather than supporting weight. So that's why you want to make sure you keep those shoulders back and down, keep the chest nice and open. This also helps you breathe a little better too. So nice little side effect of proper form. So that is the 2 finger hangs, and now we'll move on to the next exercise. So for this next exercise, you'll need just a couple pieces of equipment. You will need a kettlebell, as well as a power band. So when I say power band, I mean one of these that is a big ring like this. It's like a giant rubber band, as opposed to we usually on the WOD have been using the TheraBands, which is just like one strand. You will not be actually stretching this, so it doesn't really matter how thick it is. Thicker is probably better. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do a heavy carry with the kettlebell. So I'm going to take my power band here, thread it through the handle of the kettlebell. Now all I do is wrap my hand around it, like so, and I'm just going to carry the kettlebell. Well, make sure to try to keep your shoulders level with the horizon. So just to clarify, you're not grabbing your hand through the band, you're wrapping your hand around the band, like so. So you're having to pinch it. This is going to help us with pinch strength. You're going to want to keep your arm slightly out, just like kettlebell doesn't hit your leg or your knee. And all you're going to do is walk. So as far as the rep scheme goes, you're going to walk with the kettlebell in one hand, or the band in the kettlebell in one hand for 30 seconds. When 30 seconds is up, you'll switch to the other arm, and then you'll be ready to move on to the next exercise. So for our last exercise, the equipment you'll need will be a steel mace, like so. I would go lighter with this exercise since we're putting quite a bit of resistance on a smaller muscle group. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the steel mace, just kind of naturally like this, with the weight on the side of your thumb and index finger. But you want your hand to be probably a foot or more, depending on how strong you are, away from the weight. This is just to increase the length of the lever. This increases the resistance. So if you're like, oh man, 10 pounds isn't really a whole lot, you don't necessarily need the 15-pound mace. You could just increase the lever length, and that would increase the resistance as well. So all we're doing is wrist extension here. So I'm going to start with the steel mace at my side, gripping it tight in my right hand. And I'm going to move my wrist to try and get the mace at least parallel, maybe even higher. That's all there is to it. Again, you always are going to want to have a neutral spine, chest nice and open, shoulders down and back, head up. You don't want to lean to one side or the other, compensating. Keep the elbow locked out. So we're not trying to curl here. We're trying to focus on the extensors. You're going to feel this. You're going to feel this mostly on this portion of your forearm here on the inside by your index and thumb. As far as the rep scheme goes here, super simple. You're just going to do 10 reps on each hand, and then you'll be done with the circuit. You'll rest, and you'll get back started at the first station for another couple of rounds. Alright guys, so that is it for our exercise today. I'm just going to review the format and rep scheme for the workout real quick, and then I'll get out of here. So we're going to start with the hangboard right behind me here. You will do 10 seconds for each team, for each finger, so that should take you a total of 30 seconds of exercise. It might take you closer to the realm of 45 seconds to a minute, just transitioning from one hand to the other, adjusting your timer and all that. You will then go to the kettlebell heavy carry. So remember, you're going to need a power band for that as well. We're going to do that for 30 seconds on each hand, and then without rest, you'll move on to the steel mace wrist extension. You will do 10 reps of that on each hand, and then you'll take a 60 to 90 second rest before you start the next circuit. Enjoy the workout and you find some value in this. I hope it helps you with all of your fitness and climbing goals and needs. If you have any questions about any of the exercises we did today or any of our WODs in the past, fitness in general, I would love to help you out. You can contact me through Instagram at trg_fitness, or you can email me directly at caveman@tylerrockgym.com. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Floor Work Friday.